Welcome to Global Studies with Miss Pritchard. This video is for Global 2 students. It is vocabulary list number 3, and it will cover the French Revolution. Remember, you need to be writing these words either on flashcards or in your notebook, and you should have an image with each word because that is what will help you remember the word. All right, we're starting with number 62, a nation state. That is a country controlled by one government where the people share a common language, culture, and past. The United States is a nation state, as is the United Kingdom, or France, or Germany, or Canada, or Japan, or China. The list goes on and on. They are all nation states. Nationalism, that is pride and love for one's country or culture, and that can also be called patriotism, but nationalism becomes very important in the 18th and 19th century because there are lots of ethnic groups that are controlled by empires. They are not their own nation. 64, empire, that is one government that controls a large area with many cultures. The Roman Empire is one of the most famous. The Mongol Empire was the largest. In this time period, we have the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Ottoman Empire. France and Britain both created empires. And at one time, the United States was part of the British Empire. 65, martial law. That is military rule. It is used to regain order after an upheaval, generally after a revolt or a natural disaster, or after civil wars or international wars. When the war is over, they establish military rule to bring back order and then slowly turn back over to a democratic or more normal form of government. Right now, Egypt is under martial law because the military is controlling the government. Conscription, that is a draft. That is an order for men from 18 to 35 to serve in the military. Sometimes those ages change, but it's usually when you are ordering all of your young men to serve in the military. 67, coup d'etat. That is a quick seizing of power, usually by or with the support of military leaders. That is an instance where you go to bed at night and there's one leader, and when you wake up in the morning, there's usually a different one. This is how Napoleon takes power during the French Revolution. 68, guerrilla warfare. This is small groups that attack or ambush and then hide instead of open battles. It is very difficult to defeat guerrilla warriors because it's hard to tell who they are. They don't wear uniforms. They're not easily identified. That's why they tend to be successful, but they are successful in small steps. If it is guerrilla warfare, it is going to be a long and drawn-out war. 69, exile. That is expulsion from your home or country. That is when you are forced out from where you live. Civil War. This is what the French Revolution really is. And we start with number 70, the old regime. This was the social structure of pre-revolutionary France in which the nobility had all of the power and the peasants did all of the work. Can you guess why they had a revolution? 71, the French Revolution. Civil war within France from 1789 to 1799. It ended the absolute monarchy and the old regime. And it ends when Napoleon takes power and eventually names himself emperor. 72, Reign of Terror. That was a year in the middle of the French Revolution. It was July 1793 to July 1794 when the Committee on Public Safety controlled the government. And the leader of that committee was Robespierre, and he killed any and all who threatened his power. And the Reign of Terror does not end until his execution in 1794. All right, these are words all directly related to the French Revolution. 73 is émigrés. Those are French citizens, mostly of the nobility, that fled during the Revolution. They all run away from France or leave France because they're afraid of being murdered. Because, well, a lot of the nobility were murdered during the French Revolution. 74, the sans-culottes. These are the middle class, the Parisian shopkeepers, artisans, and workers. They are really the ones that keep the revolution going, and they are the ones that have to be satisfied by the revolution because they make up a majority of the population. 75, the Jacobins, also known as the Mountain. These are radicals that wanted an extreme change in the French government. And they are called the Mountain because they sat at the highest edges of the National Assembly, the top seats. So think of them as the guys in the top of the bleachers that are always yelling things. Girondists, these were the moderates. They were happy with the early changes and they resisted the radical change. Towards the middle and end of the revolution, most of the arguments in the fighting is between the Jacobins and the Girondists because it's a fight between the radicals and the moderates with how much the French Revolution is going to change. And it ends up with many on both sides losing their lives. All right, the people involved. We have King Louis XVI. He is the last absolute king of France, and he is beheaded during the Revolution. His wife, Marie Antoinette, who is an Austrian princess, and she is hated by the French people, mainly because France and Austria were huge rivals, and, well, they hated each other. She is also beheaded during the Revolution. In fact, she loses her life during the Reign of Terror. 79 is Maximilien Robespierre. He is the radical leader during the French Revolution, and he is the leader of the Reign of Terror. 80, Napoleon. He is a Corsican or a French general and emperor. He ends the revolution, restores order and law, and then goes on to try to conquer all of Western Europe. So he overreached a little bit. After the war, after the revolution ends, the changes and the impact continue. For 81, we have the Napoleonic Code. It is a revised and unified code of law established by Napoleon, and it applies to all of France. Think of it as very similar to Hammurabi's Code and the 12 Tables in the Roman Empire. 82, the Continental System. This is a trading blockade set by Napoleon in an attempt to weaken Great Britain, but really all it does is undermine his own authority because it goes against people's economic interests. They want to make money, they want to trade with people who are willing to buy their goods, so they start smuggling and basically breaking the rules, and if they can break that rule, they can break all sorts of other rules. 83, the Battle of Trafalgar. This is when the British Navy, led by Admiral Horatio Nelson, defeats the French fleet. This is what ensures that the British will have naval superiority, and it stops any attempted invasion of Britain by Napoleon. And ultimately, it's what will cripple his continental system because his navy cannot defeat the British Navy. The sad part is Admiral Nelson does in fact lose his life in the Battle of Trafalgar, which is sad considering he'd already lost an eye and a hand in previous battles. 84, the 100 Days. This is Napoleon's return to power after he escapes from the island of Elba. And finally, 85, Waterloo. This is Napoleon's final defeat. He loses to the Duke of Wellington, who has studied Napoleon's tactics, and manages to defeat him. So the argument is Napoleon the greatest general of the 19th century, or is Wellington because Wellington defeats him? All right, don't forget to get images for each of your words. And remember, color is good because it will help you remember the words.
And remember to give my mom your notes. I am Max Pritchard, my mom's kid, basically. and see you next time, maybe.